Hello everybody, it's Christine. It is time for day 4 of 30 Days of Sketches. Let me show you the sketch. It's by Miss Carrie from Miss Carrie's Creations. And she has 2 photos here. There's like a banner, little tags here, some florals. I'm thinking like some mixed media here. And title, of course. And then she's got like stitching over here. I have to think about that one. A couple of vertical pieces. So it's kind of a nice little sketch, actually. So I pulled out, I pre-planned on my layout, and I did it like a week or so ago. So now I'm trying to remember, like, why did I choose what, and what? I don't know. But I did pull this. I have this picture. This is actually kind of a cool, like, it was a modeling picture with, like, a weird lighting effect or something. It's my daughter. And so I definitely pulled that with this brick background is what I'm thinking. And then I pulled out this it's Prima, I think. Yes, Prima collection is this whole little fairy set here. I have not looked through this at all to figure out what I might use, but the colors kind of look like they'll go. We'll have to kind of thumb through that. That's pretty. I guess this was out. Don't know why. Y'all, I don't know. I just pulled this stack out to try to use it. But I've also got, I thought I might have pulled it because there was tags, y'all. There is no telling why I had to do this now that I've done it. Oh, I have some stickers too. Look at that. Oh, look at all the stickers, y'all. I didn't realize I had all those. Look at all that. Letters and stickers. Okay. All right. Anyway, it's kind of like a little mystery kit, isn't it? So that's kind of cute. So anyways, this is what I'm starting with. I have all these little like scraps of things. So I guess they can be tags. They can be whatever. And then I do have this little bag of stuff here too. So maybe there's stuff in there I can use. Oh, there's little twine pieces. Anyways, this is what I'm starting with. So let me cut up a few things. Let me pick my papers, and I'll be back on in a minute. Okay, everybody, quick check-in. I did decide to go ahead and mount on black the brick paper here, and I mounted my photo on black, and then I mounted it on this lighter color. And I'm debating on it because I do need it to show up on here. So I'm still debating. I may add one more piece of black behind as a very thin matte like this. I'm thinking I'm going to have to do that. And then I pulled out, this is going to be my back, and then I have pulled out, I think this is going to be my little banner piece here, once I get that done. And then I've got these guys as like the tags, I think. Or is it this side? I have to figure that out. I'll be behind. Now, I also pulled out, because there's that mixed media I showed you guys, I have this little container. I got this off of Etsy, and I'm trying to read it. It is so hard to read. It says Rachel Beth. I cannot see what this says. Something watercolors, but they're metallic, y'all. Look how gorgeous these are. You see that? So I'm going to try to use these. I'm going to try to take, I think this copper here, I think could be really pretty. I may end up mixing it with this, or sorry, that's bronze rather. I might mix it with the copper. We'll see. I got to I'm going to see if I can't get this to come out of here. It's got to have a watercolor, obviously. So we'll see what I can get, because I think that could just be really pretty with the colors kind of going on here. Yeah. All right, so give me just a second. I'll be back on. Okay, gang. So what have I done so far? I have put the second layer of the black cardstock behind the photo. And, of course, I did mount that brick on the black paper. I think I showed you that already. Now, I pulled out that little banner, or that piece I told you I was going to make my banner, and I remembered I had that punch that I had gotten FOMO about, and I mentioned a few weeks ago. I'm like, oh, shoot, Christine, you almost forgot your little banner punch. I'm going to put that there, but I'm going to realize that I'm going to have to ink the edges of these papers. They're just not going to show up against each other unless I do. So in a moment, I'm going to pull out the vintage photo, and I will ink the edges of that little banner piece. And I'll also ink the edge of that little like floral scripty piece right here. I do need to trim this down just a hair, because per the sketch, the banner kind of goes over the bottom of it. And of course, I did split the banner because it wasn't quite long enough. So that's going to go behind the photo, but I've split it. So this is where I decided I need to ink the edges. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut away. I'll make you watch that. But I've inked all those edges, and I have attached that to the little photo block all together there. So now these 2 pieces here are going to end up being my tags. And so I'm just kind of looking at these. I'm going to size them up a little bit. I'm going to end up using this We Are Memory Keeper to punch my holes. And then I'll use the little guide to cut the corners, or the little, what do you call them? The little, I guess they're corners. Cut the corners off. I'll also end up using in a moment a punch. I think I show you that. I use a punch to make the hole reinforcers. That aggravates me, that little punch. I can't feel the pop when it goes through the paper. And so I either press too hard. Here it is. I'm trying to do it. And it's hard, y'all. I'm not going to lie. Something's not right with that little punch. But, I mean, I end up getting stuff out of it. But it's just hard to use. And I can't tell when it's actually done. So see how hard I press on that? So I don't want to be a bad reviewer person because that's not my intention, but that one right there is a trick. I don't know if I'd ever recommend it to anybody unless I've just got a bad one, which is also possible, of course. I've never used it before, or I didn't have one before, so I don't know if it's any good or not. I decided to go with the round ones, and I'll just kind of use different little patterns. I got that little floral piece there, and I thought that looks really pretty on top of those other little tags. So let's see, what am I doing here, y'all? I want to ink the edge of this tag here. That one right there I think is really pretty. It's got a really pretty little floral pattern along, I think it was the side technically. Of course, it's going to be on the bottom here, but I'm going to put that on the bottom tag down there. And I've glued my little hole reinforcers on there, and I'm going to attach my photo block in just a moment. But I got to measure, I got to look and see about this because I got to make these side pieces, right? Because there's these vertical side pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and use that floral again. I'm trying to balance that out. And I think on the sketch, she means for that to be the case. She actually had stitching and stuff, y'all, and I didn't do any of that. I mean, she had stitching on that right-hand side over there. And technically, I think there's one little piece. It looks almost like there's stitching going all the way around. I didn't do that either, y'all. So I'm going to take this floral, and I'm just kind of comparing these two and thinking, okay, which one do I want to the outside and what do I want to the inside? And I decide the floral is going to go to the outside. It's going to be the longer piece. And then the little, like, heart print is going to be the smaller piece to the inside. So I'm going to cut that at basically, I think it's 3/4 of an inch. And then I'll cut the little heart, I'm going to call it heart polka dot, but it's heart dot or whatever, at 1/2 an inch. And I will also go ahead and ink the sides of these little guys here too. Now, I didn't measure that at all. The first one was kind of just inside the big brick paper, and then that one was just kind of there. I didn't measure it at all, though. And then I've got my little tag. And in a minute, I'm going to start pulling up my baggie there, and I'm going to look for stuff that kind of goes with this layout, and I'm going to realize I don't really care for much of it at all. I'll pull out like a little piece of chipboard. It looks like a clock, and I'll pull out something with some little numbers on it, and there's going to be a little flower, and then there's going to be like a chipboard piece that says note, and I'll pull those out, but that's going to be it. I may pull out the title, though, first. Why I left me inking this in here is beyond me, but anyway, I'm inking the edge of these. The photo, I think I told you guys, this was some kind of modeling photo. My mom actually sent this to me. I don't know if I ever had this photo. My mom sent it to me. How she got it, I couldn't tell you. The lighting is really pretty. I cannot tell if the blurriness or the ephemeralness of it is intentional or if it's something with my mom getting me the picture or something like that. It's a gorgeous photo. I mean, I love the light, the sun, and there's the shadow behind her, which is kind of interesting. That her face is on the shadow on the wall there. I think that's really interesting. And then all the little wispy hairs and stuff. Here's where I've got this watercolors, y'all. Now, I'm going to be honest and tell you, this is very difficult to see on camera. But the shimmers and stuff is so gorgeous in person. So I do try to show you guys. I'll do like a close-up, and I'm going to try to let you kind of see this. But it is difficult to see on camera. So I apologize for that. You can kind of see the shimmer here. These are gorgeous, gorgeous watercolors, and I need to use them on something maybe not so orange, so maybe you can see them next time, but I do love it. I'm not going to lie. It just gives this paper this really beautiful shimmer. So I use this, I think it was the brass, I think is what it said the first color was, and I'll use the packaging technique to get it on there. I'll also sprinkle it with my paintbrush, although my paintbrush tries to run away a little bit. And then I'm going to actually come in with a copper as well, so I end up with kind of this cool, well, I guess brass and copper, I guess is the two colors I end up with, but it's really neat. So after I do that, I'm going to paint my photo block and take it and glue it down. And I'm going to glue my strips down. I think I've already glued the photo block down. I'm going to glue my little strips down over here. And I'll have to do my tag. And that's when I'm going to kind of start messing with the ephemera in the bag, I think. Let me see what I got going on here, y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, I had to use wet glue with this one. My little ATG was going to be too fat. So I'm going to put this here. I'm going to take my little tag. And I'm going to put him on the side. I think this turned out really pretty, though. I didn't add any real journaling or anything. She had journaling underneath the title. Y'all, I'm terrible at that. I have got to get better at journaling. I really do. I do some, but not much. For me, scrapbooking is about documenting, but it's also just about the creative process and the art. So sometimes when I try to write my stuff on there, it kind of hurts my feelings because I don't love how it messes my design up, or whatever. So I got to get over that, or at least start adding little cards or something to the back that explains it, because otherwise people are going to be like, oh, that's a real pretty picture. What's the point? Oh, I hadn't glued that down yet. So the title is going to be Beautiful Dreamer, and it did come from a Simple Stories I think it's like basics or something. Like they have a bunch of little titles. One side has kind of this black on cream, and then the back side has, well, I don't know which is the front and the back, but the other side has black on black or white letters on black background. So it's kind of the reverse of these ones. But I really love this. I thought this was really pretty. I do go through this sticker sheet, y'all. I don't pull a single sticker off of here, not one. And I go through my little baggie, and like I said, I pull out a couple little things. But I don't really use much of any of it. It's terrible. What I do decide to do, because she did have like floral pieces, you know, in the upper left and the lower right. And I'm looking at this, and I find that, but it's got purple. It's just completely wrong, y'all. I let it sit there for just a second, but that is not going to stay. It's just completely wrong, so I'll pull it off. I like the little chipboard with the clock on it. There's a little old piece of black number thing down there. And then I'll find, like I said, this little paper flower in a moment. I'll set it up there. And I'll find the little word that says note. I like all that. You can kind of see it all sitting there. But I decided to go off with it and get a die. So you can see that purple die on the right-hand side over there. And I just cut the same shape out of this, the little light pink floral. I think it might have been actually the same one I used behind the photo. I can't swear on it. There's very similar patterns in the pad. And I just cut 6 of those little floral pieces. I really love that die, actually. That's one of my favorite little like twig dies, or what do you want to call it, like a little leaf die, because they're so sweet. They're like real thin and little just, you know, you layer them together and they give you like a little tangled flower kind of feeling. So I put those in the upper left, and I put that little paper flower, and I've got them in the lower right, and I've just kind of built out the cluster down there. Now I'm going to take the twine that was in my little bag. Now I did like that. It's kind of a burlap twine, and I will put that in each of the 3 tags, because I think that looks really pretty. It takes me just a second. I don't know why. I got to tie it through my little knot and everything, and it's just like, oh, well. It takes me just a moment. And I will do all 3 tags, by the way. And I will glue my twine down, because it's a little stiff, and so it wasn't wanting to lay like in a curl, or it kind of was, but not really. It wasn't staying like on the paper in a way, like it was kind of going off to the sides or whatever. So in a moment after I get these on here, I'm going to glue them down with some wet glue. And actually, I used just enough. I think I had just the right length of twine here. And I do kind of just pull it through. I don't tie a knot. I just kind of do the pull through thing. And here's that third one here. And like I said, I don't think I really do. After this, I don't add any enamel dots or anything like that. I really thought that I was trying to let that copper and brass watercolor paints just really shine. You can kind of see it there. I'm going to start gluing this stuff down. I'm not going to make you watch the whole thing though, but you can kind of see. And I don't glue the whole like leaf down either. I'm just doing like little major cross points on the actual little die cut thing, because I kind of still wanted that movement with those leaves. So you can kind of see me finishing up here. I did have to glue my chipboard pieces down. I glued my flower down. I used a Nuva glue on the flower because that's a little bit stronger glue, I think. And then that's basically all I'm going to do, y'all. So I'm going to pick it up, and I'm going to slow it down so you can kind of see. And I'm going to try real hard to show you the shimmer. You can kind of see it there just a second ago. Here's where I'm kind of pulling that through. I don't know if you can really see it in this section here, but you'll see it in just a minute. It's all over the bricks. It's just really hard to see with this camera and the lighting. See, there you go. You can kind of see the little shimmer there. I think it's turned out beautiful. And in person, like I said, you can see it. It's just hard on camera. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you watch tomorrow. Don't forget to check out the playlist. And there's also a hashtag if you're on Instagram. It's hashtag 30DSCBL13, because it is series 13. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.